Welcome or welcome back to my channel. I am Brenda and this is Reading by Myshelf, and today I have a huge book haul for you. Well, okay, it's not as huge as the last book haul, but it's still pretty big. I think there's like 10 books, which 10 books in a month, not including the 28 that I hauled just a few weeks ago. So I am excited to make today's video because I am dying to get these books put away and off of my floor. This is part 2 of my March book haul. The first half will have been posted earlier in March, and that was a book buying kind of shopping spree that I got to do for my birthday. And this video will be other books that I either pre-ordered, were in a book box, or were kind of a part 2 of my birthday book haul. Books that I bought with the credits that I earned from the larger purchase at Barnes & Noble. So I have 10 more books here to talk about, so let's just get into it. The first book is Slaughtered Gods. I don't know how to pronounce this name, so I will hold it up nice and close so you can see for yourself. I know I've mentioned before, Broken Binding subscription boxes, all of their books are just beautiful. They certainly go out of their way to do a great job. I have not started this series, and so I don't know much about it, other than it is a Norse-inspired series that includes a lot of Norse mythology. This one on the back, it simply says, "When Odin advances to battle, the skies darken and demons cackle. That night all shall end, gods, giants, even you, my friend." So at some point I am interested in certainly reading these books. I love Norse mythology. I think it is very interesting, although I have not particularly heard a lot of reviews about this series, so I'm not sure at the general perception that these books are receiving, but I hope to love it. Yeah, so that's that one. And next I have another well-known book series that has been all over Bookstagram and everywhere else lately, and that is the sequel to Empire the Vampire, Empire of the Damned by Kristoff. So the first book, I mentioned that I think I gave it 3 or 4 stars. Like one of my friends said, it's like watching really great trash TV. I feel like that's the perfect analogy for Kristoff's writing, at least this series. This is the only series of his that I've read. And honestly, like I said, I didn't love it. I thought that it was very, I don't even know. It was very bad, but still enjoyable in the weirdest way that I can't even explain. The one thing I did like about the first book was the artwork that was included. I don't know, I'm a sucker for a book with artwork, and this one has it as well. Let's see. I haven't really spent the time to go through and look at it, but I did glance quickly. Let's just take a look. Yeah. I mean, I think that it adds something to the book. It completes your own interpretation. So this book is just over 700 pages long. I've heard some people really give this a bad review, and so I will enter into it with reserve, but I will read it and make up my own mind. The next book I have was a Book of the Month box choice, and that is Shark Heart, A Love Story. This is by Emily Habeck. It is just over 400 pages. I think that the cover is really pretty, and I really don't know anything about this. When I just read the synopsis, it says a gorgeous debut novel of marriage, motherhood, metamorphosis, and letting go. This intergenerational love story begins with newlyweds Ren and her husband Lewis, a man who, over the course of 9 months, transforms into a great white shark. So, I don't know. If it's well done, maybe it'll be great. Who knows? But I feel like this is going to be Book of the Month's test to see whether or not I cancel my subscription, because I feel like the last couple of books that I've gotten from them, even the options, they were just definitely leaning towards none that I was interested in, and it has been that way for the past several months. I have received a few good ones. Like last month I got The Women by Kristen Hanna, and I think Kristen Hanna is a fabulous writer, and I'm excited to read that one, and I have high hopes that it will be worth it, but I don't know. Some of the ones I've gotten from them I started and did not finish because they were just not my cup of tea. Now this one is also a Book of the Month box book. I had this on my radar even beforehand, and so when I saw that they had it as one of their selections, I had to choose it. It is A Fate Inked in Blood by Danielle L. Jensen. This is just over 400 pages, and this too is also a Norse-inspired story from my understanding. That's really all I know about it. It says a shield maiden, blessed by the gods, battles to unite a nation under a power-hungry king, while fighting her growing desire for his fiery son in this Norse-inspired fantasy romance. So, I don't know. Fantasy romance. Again, not really my cup of tea unless it's really well done. The next book I got from Barnes & Noble, and that is Rendezvous with Rama by Arthur C. Clarke. This is a sci-fi story that is just under 300 pages. I'm supposed to buddy read this in April, and I am very much looking forward to it. This revolves around a alien artifact that enters into our galaxy, and humans send a team to intercept. And it is a first contact with alien story, which I love, and I've heard really great things about this. And it takes place in the year 2130. Yeah. The next book is also from Barnes & Noble. And if you've watched that video, you will see that I mentioned that the Barnes & Noble had a really random and lacking selection in their sci-fi and fantasy section. And so one of the series that I ended up picking up, they didn't have all of them. I believe they were missing the first one. And so I had to go online and get that from there, and that is Revelation Space by Alastair Reynolds. This says 900,000 years ago, something annihilated the Amaranthan civilization just as it was on the verge of discovering spaceflight. Now one scientist, the brilliant and ruthless Dan Sylvestre, will stop at nothing to solve the mystery of the ancient civilization's disappearance. But the Amaranth were destroyed for a reason, and if that reason is uncovered, the universe and reality itself could be irrevocably altered. I absolutely love space operas, any kind of alien, first contact, alternate kind of odd civilizations. That is my jam. So, high hopes for Alastair Reynolds' series. These next two I'm just going to talk about together, and this is a similar situation. The series I had picked up most of them on my Barnes & Noble shopping haul, but they were missing a few. And so I just went online and grabbed the ones that they did not have. And so that is number 4 in the Expanse series, Sabala Byrne. I have only read book 1 in this series so far. I hope to pick up book 2 soon, within the next month or so, because I now have the completed series. This is obviously not the last book, but this is the other one that was missing, book 6, Babylon's Ashes. So I do prefer paperback, especially the floppy paperback. Not so much the mass market, but these big floppy paperbacks, I will always choose over a hardback any day. I just feel like they are much easier to read from. This one is also, again, one that Barnes & Noble did not have in a series when I picked up the others. I just went online later and grabbed this to complete the whole series. And this is, again, number 1, Salvation by Peter F. Hamilton. This says, in the year 2204, humanity is expanding into the wider galaxy in leaps and bounds. Cutting-edge technology of linked jump gates has rendered most forms of transportation, including starships, virtually obsolete. Every place on Earth, every distant planet humankind has settled, is now merely a step away from any other. All seems wonderful until a crashed alien spaceship of unknown origin is found on a newly located world 89 light years from Earth. Carrying a cargo as strange as it is horrifying, to assess the potential of the threat, a high-powered team is dispatched to investigate. But one of them may not be all they seem. I'm actually reading a Peter F. Hamilton novel right now. It is called The Abyss Beyond Dreams. Right? Yeah. And I'm very much enjoying it. I think that this author is not the best sci-fi author I've ever read, but he definitely weaves a great story. He has been able to surprise me with the twisty kind of tale that he weaves. He's not one of those authors where I see everything coming a mile away. So I do enjoy that, and I'm excited to get to this. And this is the last one. This is a Broken Binding special edition. I have not read from this author before. This is China Mieville, Perdido Street Station. And I just thought that this was a beautiful edition. If I can get my hand out of the way. Just the pretty pastel colors. I love it. It's beautiful. It is a chunky book. It is like 870 pages, give or take. And I don't know much about it. Let's see. Yeah, it talks about a metropolis in the center of the world where humans and mutants and arcane races brood in the gloom beneath its chimneys, where the river is sluggish with unnatural effluent and factories and foundries pound into the night. For more than 1,000 years, the parliament and its brutal militia have ruled here over a vast economy of workers and artists, spies and soldiers, magicians, junkies, and whores. Yeah, it says, as the city becomes gripped by an alien terror, the fate of millions lies with a clutch of renegades and outcasts on the run from lawmakers and crime lords alike. Yeah, that looks really good. I can't wait to get these books on my shelves, like I said, and off of my floor. I would love to hear if you have read any of these and what you thought. What are you reading this month? I'm always looking for suggestions of new sci-fi or fantasy, horror, thriller. Drop them down below. Also, I would like to know if there's any of these that you would like to see a review from me on after I read it. I could always prioritize them. So yeah, drop a comment down below and like the video if you liked it, and subscribe if you want to see more. I post videos every Tuesday, Thursday, and Sunday. See you again soon.